All right, everyone, buckle up because today's deep dive is a wild one. We're talking about a story that's straight out of a Bollywood thriller, but hold on to your hats because this plot has more twists and turns than a Mumbai monsoon.
No kidding, we're talking about the assassination of Baba Siddiqui.
Yeah, Baba Siddiqui, a man who needs no introduction, especially not in Mumbai. He was practically Bollywood royalty.
He was a lot more than that. Sure, he rubbed shoulders with the biggest stars through those legendary iftar parties, but Baba Siddiqui, he was a force in Mumbai politics, too.
Oh, totally. I mean, who else could get Salman Khan and Shah Rukh Khan in the same room, let alone sharing a hug after their infamous feud? Talk about a master mediator.
Right, he had this knack for bridging divides, calming storms, bringing people together, which
Mhm.
is why his murder, well, it sent shockwaves through the city.
I'll say, it's not every day you see a hit this brazen, this public, on someone like Siddiqui, and on Diwali no less.
Exactly. Diwali, the festival of lights, a time for celebration, and here you have this cold-blooded murder. It's almost unheard of in Mumbai these days, especially given Siddiqui's connections.
Okay, so paint the scene for us. It's Diwali night, fireworks are lighting up the sky,
The city's buzzing, everyone's in a festive mood.
and Siddiqui is leaving his son's office. Then what?
6 shots. Just like that, Baba Siddiqui is gone.
6 shots. I mean, in broad daylight, essentially. That's bold, even for Mumbai.
Bold and risky. Mumbai's underworld, while not what it used to be, is still a force to be reckoned with. Whoever did this, they weren't afraid of the consequences.
So who would want Baba Siddiqui dead? And what does it say about the state of Mumbai today?
Well, the police are currently pursuing 4 main leads, each more intriguing than the last.
Ooh, this is where it gets good. Okay, lay it on us. What are the theories?
All right, so theory number 1, the Lawrence Bishnoi connection. Ever heard of him?
Oh, yeah, he's a notorious gangster, right?
Mhm.
Isn't he currently behind bars, though?
He is, but don't let that fool you. Bishnoi's reach extends far beyond prison walls. He's been linked to several high-profile cases, including, and this is where it gets interesting, threats against a certain Bollywood superstar.
Wait, are you talking about Salman Khan? The Salman Khan?
The one and only. See, Bishnoi has had a vendetta against Khan for years.
Oh, this is getting good. So you're saying this Bishnoi guy, he might have targeted Siddiqui to get to Salman Khan.
It's a possible motive, though an unusual one, especially given how close Khan and Siddiqui were.
Oh, right. I mean, everyone knows how close those two were. Weren't they practically family?
That's putting it mildly. Their bond went way back, all the way to that hit-and-run case that landed Khan in hot water years ago. Siddiqui, he stood by Khan through it all, provided him shelter, support, you name it.
That's loyalty.
Yeah.
So this Bishnoi character, he decides to go after Khan's closest confidant. It's a bold move, even for a ruthless gangster.
Exactly. And it's not the only theory on the table.
Oh, there's more. Okay, hit me with theory number 2.
So let's talk about MHADA,
MAGA, as in the Maharashtra Housing and Area Development Authority.
the one and only. Now, Baba Siddiqui, he wasn't just a party animal. The man had a serious resume. And one of the most intriguing lines on that resume was his stint as the chairman of MHAD.
Oh, right. He was in charge of Mumbai's real estate scene for a while. And we all know how cutthroat that world can be.
You got that right. I mean, we're talking about billions of rupees, powerful developers, politicians, the works. It's not exactly a playground for the faint of heart.
So you're thinking maybe Siddiqui made some enemies during his time at MHADA. People who held grudges maybe saw him as a roadblock to their own ambitions.
It's a definite possibility. And given the stakes involved in Mumbai real estate, well, let's just say that some people wouldn't hesitate to eliminate the competition. Permanently.
Okay, now this is getting juicy. So we've got a vengeful gangster and a potential power struggle in the real estate world. What other skeletons are lurking in Baba Siddiqui's closet?
Well, we can't discount the world of politics entirely.
You think? Come on, I thought political assassinations were a thing of the past, especially in Mumbai.
They're less common these days, that's for sure. But remember, Siddiqui wasn't your average politician. He had decades of experience, which means decades of favors, alliances, and let's not forget, rivals.
Ah, rivals. The people who might have benefited from Siddiqui's, shall we say, departure.
Exactly. The police are looking into his recent political dealings, any potential conflicts of interest, even long-standing feuds that might have escalated. You never know what kind of secrets and power plays are simmering beneath the surface in Mumbai's political circles.
All right, I'm hooked. So far, we got gangsters, real estate tycoons, and now political intrigue. It's like a Bollywood blockbuster, but with real-life stakes.
And we're not done yet. There's one more theory we need to discuss, one that takes us deep into the underbelly of Mumbai's past.
Oh, you can't meet. Don't tell me we're going there.
We are, because we can't talk about Mumbai's underworld without mentioning the D Company.
The D Company. Seriously, I thought they were old news. Haven't they gone legit, like, ages ago?
That's the general consensus, yes. But even a ghost can cast a long shadow, especially in Mumbai.
Okay, I'm listening. What's the D Company angle in all this?
Well, to understand that, we need to dig a little deeper into Baba Siddiqui's dealings, his connections, and the high-stakes world he operated in. Because in Mumbai, sometimes the past has a way of catching up with the present.
All right, I'm on the edge of my seat here. All right, so last time we left off with the D Company, the OG gangsters of Mumbai. And honestly, I'm still trying to wrap my head around how they might be involved in Baba Siddiqui's murder.
Right, because it just doesn't add up. On the one hand, you have this high-profile assassination, something that screams for attention, which is the last thing the D Company wants if they're trying to stay under the radar.
Exactly. They've been working so hard to clean up their image, go legit. Wouldn't something like this just bring the heat down on them?
Precisely. It's counterintuitive to their whole MO these days. But then again, we are talking about the D Company. Their roots run deep in this city.
So deep that they could orchestrate a hit like this without leaving a trace. I mean, come on. Siddiqui's murder was big news. Surely the cops would have uncovered something by now, some connection, some lead that points back to them.
Well, that's the thing about shadows, isn't it? Sometimes the best way to hide is in plain sight. And the D Company, they're masters of that game.
Okay, now you're starting to sound like one of those hard-boiled Mumbai detectives from the movies. But I get your point. So, if not directly involved, how do we even connect the D Company to all of this?
Well, let's consider this for a moment. What if they weren't the architects of this whole operation, but rather, let's say, facilitators?
Facilitators, like
Yeah.
what? Providing information. Muscle?
Maybe. Or perhaps something even more subtle. Think about it. Someone wants Baba Siddiqui out of the picture. They have a motive, but they don't have the means or the nerve to pull off something this big, this audacious.
So they go to the D Company, like outsourcing the dirty work.
Think about who might have benefited from Siddiqui's death. Let's revisit those real estate deals, the ones involving MHADA that we talked about.
Okay, yeah, we're talking about big money, big players, the kind of people who wouldn't think twice about playing dirty. But why involve the D Company if you can hire your own hitmen?
Because it's not just about the hit itself, it's about the aftermath, the investigation, the media frenzy. You need someone who can control the narrative, someone who can ensure certain lines of inquiry are, let's say, discouraged.
And that's where the D Company comes in. They've still got the connections, the influence, even if it's more behind the scenes these days.
Exactly. They can make problems disappear, and suddenly a sloppy investigation, a few dead ends, it all starts to make sense.
Okay, I have to admit, that does make a terrifying kind of sense. But hold on. Wouldn't the police be onto something like this? They're not stupid.
Of course not. But proving it, that's a different story altogether, especially when you have the D Company involved. These guys, they've been playing this game for decades. They know how to cover their tracks.
So it's like they're the puppet masters, pulling the strings from the shadows while someone else takes the fall.
It's a classic tactic. And in a city like Mumbai, with its layers of power, corruption, and whispers that travel through the grapevine, sometimes the truth is the hardest thing to uncover.
So we're back to square one. We've got this web of potential suspects, a vengeful gangster, disgruntled real estate moguls, maybe even political rivals, all circling around Baba Siddiqui. And now, lurking in the background, potentially orchestrating it all, is the D Company.
It's enough to make your head spin, right? But before we get too lost in the D Company theories, let's not forget about Lawrence Bishnoi.
Oh, right. The gangster with a grudge against Salman Khan. See, this is what I mean about this case. Just when you think you're starting to understand the players, there's another twist.
And this is a big one. Because remember that social media post that surfaced a few days after Siddiqui's murder? The one claiming Bishnoi was behind it all.
Yeah, wasn't that supposed to be some kind of revenge for that one suspect who died in police custody?
That was the claim, yes. An eye for an eye, a message to Salman Khan and anyone else who dared to cross Bishnoi. Except there's one major problem with that theory.
What's that?
It's bogus. The police don't buy it for a second.
Seriously. But it was all over the news. People were freaking out.
And that's exactly what someone wanted. See, the language in that post, the tone, it was all wrong.
Wrong how?
It didn't sound like Bishnoi, not the way he operates. This was a deliberate attempt to mislead the investigation, to create a smokescreen.
Hold on. So you're saying someone's trying to frame Bishnoi for this, make it look like he's out of control, lashing out from behind bars.
It's a possibility. The question is, who stands to gain from making Bishnoi the fall guy?
Right. Is it another gang trying to eliminate the competition?
Yeah.
Or someone trying to cover their own tracks by making it all look like a gangland feud?
It's a tangled web, and we're only just beginning to unravel it, but the deeper we go, the more it seems like everyone involved in this case has something to hide.
So we're left with this question. If not Bishnoi, then who? Who had it out for Baba Siddiqui? Was it a power move by real estate rivals, a silencing by political enemies, or something else entirely?
It's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And the answer might be a lot closer to home than anyone suspects.
Closer to home? What do you mean?
Think about it. Who knew Baba Siddiqui's routines? Who had access to his movements? Who could get close enough to orchestrate a hit like this right under everyone's noses?
You're not suggesting you can't possibly mean.
I'm not saying anything for sure, but in cases like this, you can't rule anything out. Sometimes the most shocking crimes are committed by the people closest to the victim.
That's cold. But you're right. We've seen it before, those shocking headlines. The trusted friend, the business partner, even family members.
Exactly. Jealousy, greed, revenge, these are powerful motivators. And when you add in the complexities of Baba Siddiqui's world, the stakes were incredibly high.
So what now? Where do we even go from here with this case? It feels like we've gone down so many rabbit holes and every answer just leads to more questions.
It's true. This isn't a simple whodunit. This case, it's a tangled web of power, greed, and betrayal. It's a story that could only happen in a city like Mumbai, where those lines are constantly blurred.
So how does this end?
That's the thing about Mumbai, isn't it? This city, it has a way of surprising you. Just when you think you've seen it all, something like this happens. And it reminds you that behind the glamour, behind the lights, there's a darkness that never truly goes away.
And that darkness, it seems to touch everything and everyone eventually.
Even those who seem untouchable, like Baba Siddiqui.
It's a sobering thought. But what does it mean for Mumbai's future? Is this a sign of things to come, a return to the days when the underworld ruled the streets?
I wouldn't go that far. Mumbai is a resilient city. It's been through a lot, terrorist attacks, riots, floods, and it always comes out stronger.
So you're saying this Baba Siddiqui's murder, it's just a blip on the radar?
No, not a blip, more like a wake-up call. A reminder that even in a city striving for progress, the past has a way of rearing its ugly head.
A reminder that some things never really change.
And that even in the city of dreams, some stories don't have happy endings.
Well, on that cheerful note, we're going to have to leave it there for today. But this story, it's far from over, and we'll be following it closely. So until next time, stay curious, stay safe, and remember, Mumbai always has a few more secrets up its sleeve.
That it does.
As always, thanks for diving in with us.